Welcome everyone to the new series, Jews in Sports, with Michael, myself. I am an elite Spartan racer, podiums and championships, and I have been on LeBron James' show, $1 Million Mile, winning $25,000 versus a pro athlete while wearing my yarmulke. We have JI Foundation has partnered with H to create this series, Jews in Sports, where we basically talk to Jews who have competed in sports throughout the world. And the specific reason why we're doing this is because athletes get a bad rap. Athletes are the people that just play. We don't like to hear their opinions. We don't, they just play. They don't have the intellect. But on the contrary, athletes are the people that put themselves in positions every day, training, mindset, in big moments where they get to learn, grow, in experiences and circumstances that, most of us don't get to be in. So here's a wonderful opportunity to talk to these athletes with specific, unique perspectives in life. And then now scouring the world to find the top Jewish athletes to discuss topics that are very dear to us. So we have today Tamir Goodman, I don't know why I said it like that, Tamir Goodman, who is the legend in Orthodox Jewish sports, or really Jewish sports, maybe behind Sandy Koufax. But the factor is Tamir was the first real Orthodox Jew. We all heard of him. I heard of him as a kid, inspired me. The person who, when everyone was saying no, with his yarmulke, when it was totally not seen as normal for an Orthodox Jewish player to be chasing a dream of his. And we're going to discuss and get more into your story in a minute and ask you more questions. But I'm going to go right off the bat. Before we get into the intro of you, I'm doing it differently. We're going to go right into the topic, that we want to discuss today, which is breaking through, overcoming. We want to, be able to understand, what it's like, how to not give up and be the first one to achieve greatness. So, people talk about giving up, never give up to your kids, but we don't discuss the life events, that we feel are a failure, but, and we focus on them, but we don't overcome. So the question to you is specifically, how do we deal with the could have beens? So this is a very interesting question for everyone involved, not just sports, because it all affects us. The could have beens for dating, the job interview. Oh my gosh, if I would have been able to handle myself differently. If I would have said the better thing to the girl, saying I could have had more time with a family member or a friend. Yes, after the fact, we look at Hashem, we say, Hashem, everything's meant to be. But when we're in the moment and the emotions are ravaging, you have to be able to deal with it. For example, I said to my Rosh Hashiva once, why I should say Gam Zlo Tova to someone in Shiva. And he went, no. He's like, oh my gosh, don't say that, So yes, after the fact, we have perspective. Living in the moment with something that we feel could have been. What is your advice? What do you think is the right answer to overcoming that particular feeling? And that's a tough question.
Well, I'll answer with a short story. When I was about 6, my coach took me to play for the first time against current college players. And it was a summer night where the players are working hard on their game. And at some point, he matched me up to play one-on-one against a college player. I was only 16. And here I am, a collegiate athlete. And it was very frustrating for me. I wasn't able to make the moves that I was accustomed to making. I couldn't get to the basket the way that I'd like to get to the basket. He was able to steal the ball from me, which I wasn't used to, having people steal the ball from me. And at one point I just, there's padding behind the hoops. I guess I missed the layup and there was padding behind the hoops and I just slapped the padding really hard and I was very upset and I put my head down and I was just like still frustrated. And I come over to me and he said, look, we don't have to do this. We don't have to be here. But if you want to be here and you want to be a part of this and you want to play college basketball and you want to play professional basketball, you're going to have to be able to play at this level. You're going to have to be able to guard someone like this. You're going to have to be able to go past someone like this. If you don't want to do this, let's just go home right now. But if you want to do this, this is what you're going to have. This is the level that you're going to have to train at. And if you want to do it, you got to stop crying, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Here's what you're going to have to do. And I just looked at him. I wiped away the tears from my eyes, and I said, I want to do this. So if you want to do it, he's like, you're going to have to maximize your effort. You know, you're going to have to listen. You're going to have to be able to pay attention. You're going to have to be able to break through. You're going to have to be able to be really strong physically, emotionally, spiritually. And you're going to have to be able to pay attention to detail. You're going to have to great time management. You're going to have to be able to take care of your body. You're going to have to be able to block out a lot of noise. You're going to have to be able to bounce back when you mess up, and you're going to a lot. And you're going to have to attach this whole mission to something greater than just your own ego. And I decided then that that's it. Like, I've loved basketball my whole life up until that point. I was blessed to learn from many great players and legends before me. I had the greatest family, the greatest friends, the perfect environment, the greatest coaches. I had everything leading up to that point, but that was the night where I decided that, like, all right, no matter what, I'm going to do this.
So the message that your coach was sending you basically is not only the form of saying, hey, if you got to be motivated if you want to get through this, but the message was commit to this moment. If you keep evading it, saying, I don't want to be in this moment, you're not going to be able to, you're going to look for ways to get out. And his point was, go for it.
Exactly. In other words, like you're saying like couldn't have, or the couldn't have moment. And what I'm trying to say, what he taught me was, if you give it your absolute best shot and you've tried more than your best and you've given more than 110%, then you can say about yourself, Gam Zula Tova.
Let's get into who you are, what your journey was, because you have a fascinating one. You were literally the first Orthodox Jew to get the attention of the world. You're famous for getting on Sports Illustrated, being as the Jewish Jorden. So let's quickly send people, and please everyone, go to tamirgoodman.com, because he has a fantastic 10 minutes, not that long, not too short. It's perfect. The millennial attention span, that's it. 10 minutes, basically going through his life story. And again, as we talked about, getting insight from Tamir, his story is incredibly unique. Let's watch just a piece now.
Growing up in this community, there's like an expectation, and the last expectation is athletics. Torah starting high academic achievement. Here's a kid, he just wants ball.
And the kind of energy and the vibe was like, okay, basketball's been great to you, but realistically, you're not going to be able to pursue this. So why don't you just cut out the basketball and focus on Torah study? What I learned through studying the Torah was Judaism doesn't want you to take away your dreams and throw your dreams out the window. It's really the opposite. The whole point of Judaism is to take something physical and to turn it into something spiritual. So you can be a basketball player. God wants you to be a basketball player. But try to play for the right reasons. Try to do good things through basketball.
Okay. So let's go. So my question comes to you, first of all, in two forms, and it's a wonderful message, right? The values of Torah and such. One of the tough questions would be, the first question would be, how do you balance Torah and basketball? Because I've been told that sports and Judaism are separate. And the second question, and it's a tough one because you got the advice. What would you say to your kid, comes to you and says, I want to be an NBA basketball player? And we all know statistics are not there. But that's the dream, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
it's tough.
No, I think that All right, repeat the first question again because I'm answering the second one first. Go ahead, repeat the first one.
No, answer the second one. Let's go.
All right, the second one, I would definitely tell my kid, one of them who already thinks he's making the NBA, one out of the 5 so far is going for it. I would tell them 100% to go after their dreams because anything can happen. You know, who would have ever thought that I would be able to, you know, what I was able to do was seen as impossible. Why would anyone change TV contracts, hotel reservations, and game scheduling, flights, radio, just for one incoming Jewish freshman? Like, that doesn't, you know, and it happened. And I'm so grateful that I was able to live out my dream. And to get back to what we spoke about earlier, like, if it doesn't happen, you know, you gave 1,000,000%. You learned all the lessons along the way to make you make the right pivot. But there should be no reason in the world that you should think because you're Jewish, you can't live out your dream. I think Judaism is the exact opposite of that. Judaism teaches us how to live a happy, meaningful life, a life full of striving for greatness, accomplishments, bettering the world, you know, bringing light everywhere we go, uplifting the physical and putting spiritual energy into it. So I think that in order for us to be who we are and reach our potential in this world, it has to come through our unique talents. Otherwise, why did Hashem give us those talents? I don't think Hashem gave us the talents to ignore them. I believe Hashem gives us our talents so that we utilize them in the right way, and partner with Him, and make this world a better place. And throughout that journey, we should do it with happiness and big visions. You know, like you think of like the person who leads the prayer is Chazan. Chazan comes from the word Chazon, visionary. You know, have big dreams. Go out there and make it happen. Hashem is our biggest fan. Hashem's our biggest supporter, and Hashem's our biggest coach.
So the question that went around my yeshiva, right? And I think you would say, I know your answer, but if you have all the Torah in the world, would you, on an island, you know, would you learn for the rest of your life on an island Torah, or would you, you know, not? And I think it's a good analogy because, yeah.
I think there's 2 types of people, or maybe there's more, but in general, there's definitely some people in the world that are on an extremely high level, that their job is to sit and study Torah, and that's definitely bringing peace to the world. But again, that's their mission. There's other people in the world that still have to study Torah, but from what I understand, the highest level of Torah is putting it into action. So by being a living example out there and bringing Torah knowledge to the world through specifically your talents, whether it's basketball or whatever you're doing, like that's being a beacon of light to the world, that's uplifting the world, that's partnering with Hashem, that sums up so much, because like it's inspiring people, it's uniting people, it's, you know, I just personally feel too, like I couldn't be the person who I am or have the relationship with Hashem if it wasn't for basketball. Basketball, I serve Hashem through basketball. You know, that's how it's always been, and that's how it's always going to be with me in an increasing manner. You know, we say every day in Tefillah, Zeh Keli Vanveu. This is my Hashem. Vanveu means ani v'hu. In other words, I don't think we should just be going through the motions. All right, I put on my tefillin. All right, I wash my hands before I eat bread. All right, let me light the Shabbos candles. Like, there needs to be some type of like personal energy and commitment and partnership through each mitzvah that we do. And each person has their own unique journey in doing that. And I think that's what establishes a true relationship. You know, just like you think about it, if you're married, like you don't want to just like go through the motions, you know, you don't want to just like do the chores or do what you need to do. There has to be it has to come from within and have its own unique touch. And that's what makes it unbreakable. Or like you think about Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph, and you know, his coat had all the different colors, which represented like all the different like things of the world, sport, law, medicine. Like he had everything in his coat, and that's why he was ultimately able to overcome all the challenges, flip the whole world around, not be intimidated, come out of prison and still see that perfect vision of what he wanted to accomplish, not let people break him down, be resilient. Like he had all of that, and he was able to do all that because his Judaism relationship wasn't just going through the motions. It was like one with everything that he did.
It's beautiful, and the quote is amazing. It's an amazing analogy. It's true. I think you answered the question. I guess my Rebbe who says you can't balance sport and Torah values. I think in life we need to as you said, be able to see the mission in life. I think the obstacle for a lot of people is they don't see the mission, especially teenagers. In my private practice, I realized the number one thing for teenagers is that there's no goal, there's no why, there's no mission, purpose, and I think we all go through that. But to your point, I think the tough part is finding that mission. For you, it came easy. Basketball, you can affect so many people through basketball, but I think a lot of people struggle to get there.
Yeah, well, I think that to answer that question, and if you just go out in a game right now and there's 25,000 people there and you were on the bench and the coach called you in, it's going to be really hard to make a three-pointer or like make a crazy play right away. You need to get like little small wins that will build up your confidence to get the big win. And I think that's what I try to tell myself. I try to tell my players, and I think teenagers need to understand it. We don't need to start the game with some grandiose mission, okay? I think we need to get little small wins, okay? Because when we feel good about ourselves, we can make healthy decisions from the right side of our soul. When we feel really down about ourselves, we can't find our mission in this world because it's not reflecting who we really are. We're not seeing ourselves in a confident, beautiful way. We're seeing ourselves as like a non-winner. And it's hard to find your mission when you're on that energy. So, get up in the morning, make your bed, get that first win. Eat a good meal instead of a non-healthy meal. Get that second win. Get your homework done. Call someone. Help someone out. Like, get these little wins. Then you'll be working from like your godly side of your soul where you can make good decisions and healthy decisions. And before you know it, you'll be able to find what your bigger mission is. So I think we just need to start with little small wins to get our mind and heart in the place that we could like put ourselves in a situation to succeed, and then everything else will take care of itself.
You nailed it with that. You nailed it. That honestly just spoke to me in such a big way. You absolutely nailed it in a sense of everyone does go for the big win. Everyone does go for the things and the drama and the dramatic. When we get on diets, we cut out all sugar, cut out all things. 4 days later, you're back to doing what eating the cake. So that I think very much resonates, and I think that hopefully resonates with a ton of people because that advice is vital is a huge blueprint that is taught through Torah, but it's a very big blueprint that we don't hear a lot. Not only do the little things, but do the little things with the understanding that you're working toward a greater mission. And a lot of times that's Hashem. And it's
and the rabbi said that thousands of years ago, mitzvah go'ed mitzvah. Like the second you do one mitzvah, you're going to want to do another one. What does that mean? Like the second you feel good about yourself and you're confident, then we view ourselves in a different light. Like, okay, that I'm not that type of person that's doing that type of negative thing. Like I'm a great person. I'm a winner. And the second you feel good and you do one mitzvah, you're going to do another mitzvah. The second you feel good about one win, you're going to want to do another one because that feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of overcoming, the feeling of transcendence is the greatest feeling in the world.
You're building,
and it's a God.
Yeah, you're building. You're especially for teams. You're building your psyche. You're telling yourself, that you're showing yourself what you're able to do. You don't get into the weight room and go for the max 300-pound, deadlift or the squat, without. And we do get upset. You do see that kid get in there, sees the guy lift and come down, and then the kid gets in there and he tries and he can't even lift it off the ground, and he's upset. Adults do that, right. And it's such an important thing to say. You're not there mentally. Forget physically. You're not there mentally. You're not able to handle that moment, and that's just, that's the cause. That's life. That's what happens.
I think it's the greatest way that way, because if we were just spoon-fed, if we were just able to reach the 300 right away, deadlift, it wouldn't mean anything. Specifically by building ourselves up, step along the way, then it becomes one, and the feeling lasts much longer. You feel better instead of just someone just giving it to you right away. That's part of the whole process. That's the beauty of it.
I feel just without physically putting into a challenge, although if anyone wants to tag you or me in it, do the little thing. Send somebody a text message, like let's go. Yeah, everyone hears it. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, we'll do the little thing, and then they go off and watch TV. It's fine. But you know, one step at a time. Send somebody a text today saying, "Thinking about you. Hope you're well," or "I love you," or you know, honestly, a lot of people don't do this. Tell somebody that's important to you you love them. Write them a little card. I write my parents cards all the time. You know, we forget that it is important to show gratitude, love, connection, you know, do something little, as you said, or whatever it is. Breaking average, right? Your story is literally ups and downs, right? Amazing coach, terrible coach, big fame, whatever, you know, people not caring, or who knows, whatever, you know. Getting to Maccabi Tel Aviv, injuries, like, you know, and then obviously, you know, so many positives, but the ups and downs of that. How does one break average, right? And second to that question, it's another deep question. A lot of people feel average might be okay. So do you think being average is fine? Why do I have to be great? You know, and what's your message to breaking that ceiling? Because there's a ceiling for average. A lot of people get there, and when they go through the ups and downs, they don't break the ceiling, because you go up, you know, great coach, go down, and that's, you know, staying average.
Yeah, well, I think it's two things. It's the first part is like feeling good about yourself, understanding your unique mission in this world, and realizing that I think there's 50 trillion cells in our body. So like you're realizing that like every second of the day, 50 trillion cells are working so that you could be in this world, so that we could be in this world. Obviously, we're extremely special and we have a unique journey, and we could have an impact on this world that no one else can. Otherwise, why is Hashem investing all that in us every single day? So like the first part of the answer is like believing in yourself, your own unique mission, never letting society dictate what you can or cannot do, understanding with your whole heart and soul that you have a unique purpose here that nobody else in the world has. So that's part number one. And I think that part number two is surrounding yourself with people that could help you fulfill that mission. Okay? People that could teach you, people that could mentor you, people that love you unconditionally, people that could tell you you're wrong when you need to be told that you're wrong. I think it's a combination of you know, what you need to do within yourself and surrounding yourself with people that can help you on the outside. I think that would be the answer, those two keys.
Okay, so we're gonna stop, we're gonna end here. Please, everyone, go to tamirgoodman.com, connect with you there, see the video. You know, you are a remarkable person. The insight that you gave today, I think, just sums up what this program is about. Taking the most incredible lessons and, you know, seeing them through your journey, your perspective is absolutely amazing. You know, again, the Aish.com series is in connection with Jewish Inspiration Foundation. The main program that we have is taking kids with physical challenges and taking them through a Spartan race, pairing them with people in communities, so that way everyone can learn and grow together. It changes lives. Maybe this is the one simple thing, whether it's going to Tamir's site or going to jifoundation.org. We just want you to send our kids a message of motivation. These are kids that go through life, and the challenges that they go through are astronomical on a daily basis. Just send an email. Hey, you're amazing. Continue to push through. You've inspired me. And it makes a world of a difference to these kids. And I hope you get inspired by their stories. I hope you're inspired by Tamir's story of true, like, all, you know, just the ups and downs, the incredible things you've accomplished. The could have question, I feel, was very much answered, because that plagues a lot of us. And I really appreciate you coming on and, you know, really sharing astronomical wisdom with all of us.
Thank you for thinking of me, and blessings and success to everyone.